Franz Kafka's The Metamorphosis, a story of transformation, isolation, and the silence that follows when the world turns away. This adaptation was created by Rust Books. Gregor Samsa glanced at the alarm clock ticking on the chest. God in heaven, he thought.
It was 6:30, and the hands were quietly moving on, even past the half hour. It was going on toward 3/4. Had the alarm clock not gone off? You could see from the bed that it had been set for 4 o'clock. Certainly it had gone off. Yes, but was it possible to sleep through that noise that made the furniture shake? Well, peacefully continuing to sleep isn't something you do in situations like this.
What should Gregor do? He was still far from ready. He had not even begun to pack up the sample goods, and he was not at all sure whether he had the strength to do so.
What a frantic, hectic occupation I've chosen. You're always on the go. The business worries are much worse than they are at the firm itself. And in addition to that, I have the plague of traveling, the anxieties about train connections, irregular and bad food, temporary and constantly changing human relationships, which never come from the heart.
He felt a slight itching on the top of his belly. He slowly pushed himself on his back closer to the bedpost so that he could lift his head more easily, found the itchy part, which was entirely covered with small white spots. He did not know what to make of them, and wanted to feel the place with a leg. But he retracted it immediately, for the contact felt like a cold shower all over him.
No matter how hard I throw myself onto my side, I always rock back into my former position. Oh God, if only I didn't have to keep getting up for work. If only I could stay in bed a little longer.
Gregor stared at the ceiling. The morning light outside the window was getting brighter, though it remained gray and overcast. Raindrops tapped rhythmically on the metal ledge. Then came a soft knock at the door.
Gregor, it's 7:15. Didn't you want to go somewhere?
Yes, thank you, Mother. I'm getting up now.
Gregor tried to make his voice sound natural by putting a pause between every word and by pronouncing them distinctly, to hide the fact that he could not help the persistent, disgusting clicking in his newly altered voice. His mother, however, seemed to be calmed by the explanation and left without further comment.
But what now if this nonsense goes on much longer? How can I get up like this? I have to be out of bed, dressed, have my breakfast, and be on the train by 8. And here I am, still lying in this damped shape.
The ticking of the clock seemed louder than before. Then another knock, this one firmer.
Gregor, it's past 7. Are you not feeling well? Do you need the doctor?
No, Father. I'm fine. Just a little drowsy. I must have overslept. I'm just getting up.
There was a louder knock at the main door of house. Louder, impatient. It was not a family member. It was the chief clerk. He had arrived early, already suspicious. Gregor's unexplained absence had triggered concern at the office.
Mr. Samsa, good morning. I'm here on behalf of the office. We're concerned about your failure to report for duty. Your behavior is highly irregular. I must report this if you do not open the door.
It's someone from work.
Don't say a word. I'll speak to him.
The chief clerk stepped inside. The father closed the door quietly behind them.
Good morning. Is Mr. Gregor Samsa home? He failed to catch the early train again.
I completely agree, sir. Gregor is, well, He's never done anything like this before. He spoke of the early train just last night. Perhaps he's simply ill, exhausted. Please, come with me. He should be in his room.
Footsteps echoed through the hallway. Gregor heard the sound of leather shoes, 2 pairs, moving steadily toward his room.
Gregor, the gentleman from your office is here. You must have missed the train, yes? He's very concerned. So are we all. Gregor, open the door, son.
Gregor tried to respond. He cleared his throat and forced out syllables, but his voice cracked, full of static and squeaks.
I must get to the door. I must let him see me, to explain.
He dragged himself to the lock, pressed a mandible into the key, and after scraping, twisting, struggling, he turned it. The door opened, and Gregor stood there, transformed.
Dear God, what is that?
The briefcase fell from his hand. He staggered back, then turned and ran. Gregor instinctively stepped forward, not to attack, but to plead.
No, wait, don't go, please.
But his voice was only a rasping, chittering hum, incomprehensible, terrifying. His father surged forward, his face red with rage. In one hand, a walking stick, in the other, a rolled-up newspaper.
Get back! Back, you monster!
He swung. The cane struck the floor beside Gregor. Again, the newspaper whipped across his shell. Gregor turned, crawled, slow, uneven, aching. He scurried toward his bedroom door. The blows came faster, the shouting louder, the pain sharper. He reached the threshold, his body too wide. He twisted, he pulled, his legs thrashed wildly as he squeezed through the gap, and just as he slipped inside, slam! The door shut behind him. Locked. Gregor lay on the floor, trembling. He was bruised, bleeding, alone. He did not move for hours. His injuries burned. His legs twitched at every breath. He listened to the muffled sounds of dinner in the kitchen, clinking dishes, murmured voices. But no one came.
They're afraid. They're ashamed. They wish I were gone.
When night fell, no food was brought. No voice called his name. Only the hallway light shone faintly beneath the door. Eventually, Gregor fell into a shallow, pain-laced sleep. He dreamt of nothing and woke to silence. Few days later, Gregor began to move more freely. He grew used to his new legs, his grip, his ability to scale walls. He discovered a strange comfort in motion, climbing the wallpaper, clinging to the ceiling. It made him feel not human, but free. Grete noticed the marks on the walls, the dust trails on the ceiling. And one day, she made a decision.
If we move the furniture out, he'll have more space. That's what he wants now. Not a desk, not a wardrobe.
Their mother hesitated. She stood in the doorway, wringing her hands.
But if we take everything out, won't it feel like we've given up hope? He's still our son.
Still, she agreed to help. They moved cautiously, drawer by drawer, clearing space. Gregor watched from under the couch, his nerves taut. His world was being dismantled, piece by piece.
They're taking everything. Everything I knew. All that's left of my old life.
Suddenly, unable to bear it, he scurried from his hiding place, up the wall, to the one thing he still recognized. A framed picture of a lady in furs, the one he had once cut from a magazine, the only decoration he had truly cared for. He pressed his body against it, desperate, protective, as if this image could anchor him to the past. That's when his mother turned. She saw him.
Ah!
Her face went white. She staggered backward, pressed her hand to her chest, and collapsed.
Help! Mother! Oh, God!
Gret ran to the hallway, shouting for her father. Heavy boots echoed down the hall. The front door burst open.
You filthy creature!
Gregor froze. His mother lay unconscious on the couch. His sister was screaming in the hall. And now, his father was home. He had returned from work in uniform, dark, pressed, a bank messenger's cap still on his head. He looked taller, sterner.
Get back in your room!
Gregor stayed where he was, still clinging to the wall near the picture, too stunned to move. Then his father grabbed a handful of apples from the table. One he threw. It hit Gregor's shell and bounced off. Gregor squealed in pain. Another hit his side. He lurched downward. The third struck him square in the back and embedded itself deep. It didn't bounce. It sank. Gregor shrieked, a sound no human could make. He tumbled to the floor, legs twitching wildly. The apple stuck in his back, bleeding, festering. His father lowered his arm. His mother stirred faintly on the couch. Gret helped her sit up. Gregor did not move. He crawled, slowly, back under the couch, dragging the weight of the fruit lodged inside him. And there it remained, the apple, a wound, rotting, filling his body with poison. The apple stayed in Gregor's back, a wound that never healed. It festered, infected. No one dared to remove it. Gregor grew weaker. He moved less each day. He stopped eating. Even the rotting food Gret once brought him now sat untouched. Gret no longer waited to see if he ate. She came in quickly, opened the window, cleared the dish, and left.
She's tired of me.
The room no longer smelled of stale air. It smelled of decay. The rest of the family had changed too. Each of them now had work. The father wore his uniform like armor. The mother sewed lingerie by candlelight. Gret worked in a shop all day, came home exhausted, said little. At dinner, they sat in silence. Sometimes Gret played the violin, but only to herself. Gregor's name was no longer spoken aloud. Then they took in 3 lodgers, bearded men with hats and walking sticks, quiet, demanding. They paid for peace. Gregor's door stayed closed at all times. He was hidden, forgotten, unwanted. One night, someone left Gregor's door slightly ajar. It was a mistake. In the living room, Gret was playing her violin. The sound drifted down the hall, soft and trembling. The notes reached Gregor, cutting through the silence, waking something inside him.
Her playing. It's beautiful. She could have been great. I wanted to send her to the conservatory.
For the first time in weeks, he crawled from his room, slowly, carefully, drawn by the music. He inched toward the dining room, toward the sound, unaware the lodgers were still seated at the table. They turned. They saw him.
What is that?
Chairs scraped back. One knocked over a plate. A fork clattered to the floor. Gregor froze, caught in the light. His father leapt up. His mother covered her mouth. Gret dropped the violin.
Please, sirs, it won't happen again.
But the lodgers were already grabbing their coats.
We are not paying for this!
They left. No goodbyes, no payment. The door shut behind them. Then Gret turned to her parents.
We have to get rid of it. You have to stop believing that thing is Gregor. If it were him, he would have left on his own. He's a creature. He's tormenting us. We can't go on like this.
Gregor heard every word. He turned around and crawled back into his room. Gregor lay still in the darkness, his body aching, his shell cracked. the apple still lodged in his back. He thought of his sister's words, her music, her voice now distant.
They're right. I am a burden. It's time.
That night, Gregor stopped moving. By morning, he was dead. When Gregor Samsa awoke from his troubled sleep that final night, he felt a deep, all-encompassing stillness. The pain in his back was gone. His legs no longer twitched. His hunger had vanished. He thought of nothing. He felt nothing. He simply let go. At dawn, the charwoman arrived. She was the only one who still entered his room. She opened the door as always, expecting to see him scuttle.
Come on then, you old dung beetle. Let's see you move.
But Gregor didn't move. She stepped in, looked under the couch.
Oh!
He was flat, dry, hollow, dead.
He's dead! You can stop worrying. He's finally dead.
The family gathered, but none of them stepped inside. They stood in the hallway, silent.
Greta cried. Not loudly, just enough.
The father folded his arms. The mother leaned against the wall. They didn't speak. Then, slowly, they turned away. Later that day, the lodgers were still in their rooms, but the father went to them.
Gentlemen, you must leave.
And they did, without protest, without a word. A strange quiet settled over the apartment. No one mentioned Gregor. No one entered his room. The door remained closed. They wrote to Gregor's employer, explained his sudden death, resigned the position, and for the first time in many months, they took the day off. The family left the house. They boarded a tram to the countryside. The sun was bright, the air fresh. The father leaned back in his seat. He stretched. He hadn't done that in months. Gret sat by the window. She smiled faintly. Her mother took her hand. They all looked at Gret. She was blooming, strong, beautiful. And it was then that they decided, soon, very soon, they would find her a husband.